First sound, first light is a phrase Rob uses a lot when we're talking about the world and the universe and the way of things and where things are going to, coming from, and how they've been and what we'd like to see in the future.
First sound, first light is a term that we often use describing the creation times and things that are relevant to when one could envisage a sound optic. You'll hear bunjil, you'll hear some contemporary sounds in there as well, musical sounds. And they're variations of sound, crackling, fire, Vicki. The whale was really important. The oldest storyteller on the planet are those creatures.
Kuntubul, it's our Gundi Chamara Kiro Warong word for the southern right whale, who have birthing places along our coastline in our sea country. And we're actually doing a lot of activism with our daughter to protect those places because they're being assaulted by multinational companies seeking fossil fuels still and supported by the government. So we've been working very hard, and in some ways this work is one of those ways for people to learn and share what we know in a way that's an experience so that people can integrate what they might take from this experience in here in an immersive way and embody it and integrate it into their knowing and understanding of the world, so that everybody who enters can understand as humanity how we belong in place. This work is one of the ways that we can, in a creative and a beautiful way, help people to get to that place where they want to stand on that line and fight for our Mother Earth and all of our kin, human and non-human, So, yeah, it's really important.
It's part of what the kaleidoscope of our lives are about and have been about since we've been, 40 odd years on this road to try and find equilibrium. That's what it's about, really. Just getting little glimpses of what the country is like, and Kirawang country and the great vastness of Gundi Chamara land. I think that's indicative of our journey. Meeting in the city and then heading back to country and raising a family, and this encapsulates that. You'll see images of the family in Gulliga Mountain, on my country up the coast, of the family dancing, and then our star of the show, Yaren, our daughter, she's really proactive in that space of generating a conversation that surrounds everything that is of a living nature, even if it's not, has to be accountable to something. So she's heavily invested in the whale story, in the songline. And my grandfather and my family on the south coast, there's a long line of historians and songlines holders about the whale story. So it's encapsulating the two from our families together, and that's a really important story to tell.
Kuntubul, the whale, or the southern right whale, I've done a small freehand sketch of a heartbeat. Or the vision of those sine wave heartbeats to enter into this space, because it is about that connecting to that heartbeat and the rhythm of Mother Earth, the rhythm of each other, and the frequencies and sounds, because frequency is everywhere, it's everything. So this is part of trying to show that inseparability of everything, because I'm over the word connection or connected to or interconnected, because it's that, to me, implies there's like a cord or something that connects you to the thing, but when you're actually of that thing, you are of that place, you are belonging, and you are not separate. It's inseparable. Pang nuti wing wanung, we remember. The image you might see of me sitting, contemplating, looking across a lake in Jagged Warong country, in the Stony Rises, and it is about that we remember, the remembering, the reflection, and the tuning in to the frequency of the ancestors in country, and aligning your frequency, yourself, and listening and hearing what the ancestors and country, hearing with your ears, your wing, but with your body, with your kung as well, and your spirits. Our own languages, the languages of our country, it's really important to bring those into the work, because we're talking here about frequency, vibration, resonance, that inseparability. And languages are from countries, so to have language words in here is like, it has to happen for those reasons. And it's also of paramount importance in terms of, as First Nations, Aboriginal people, Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people, our birthright to our mother tongue. And it's the International Decade of Indigenous Languages, so it's a priority, it's a national, it's a global priority, you know. It's a crisis really, but here we have, of course, the oldest living culture with the oldest living languages, so we have to do everything we can with all of our might to make sure that they don't become sleeping and our grandchildren's grandchildren are doing the work that we're doing. We don't want them to have to be doing that work. We want them to hold those knowledges and language and stories embodied and lived, and not trying to revitalise. So these works are all about those kind of things.
Wow, what a gift.
To demonstrate what the storylines and the capabilities of those storylines to the public, to be able to learn about this is your past, your present and your future. And it's continual. It's that continuum, just adding to that continuum. And I think that's where our story's at.